Hi there, this is Fire, Flame Modular's 8-voice percussion and drum synthesizer, and today I'm gonna give you a quick breakdown of all the parameters of every algorithm. I'll go through everything on a sound by sound, note by note basis in order to give you an idea of how it sounds, how you can alter sounds, how drastically you can alter them, how the menu system works, and hopefully give you an idea of whether this is something for you or not. If you experience slurred speech, odd breaks, arms and ms and whatnot, I'm not a professional YouTuber, and yeah, I hope you can forgive me. Also, don't expect anything overly musical. This is really just for demonstration purposes. I hope you enjoyed. Let's turn some knobs. There's already a good demonstration / tutorial by Synth. I'll link to it in the description. Nonetheless, I'm gonna show you a few things regarding the menu, so you know what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. The bottom right 4 buttons are global menus. Master, obviously for master level, and master morph, which lets you morph through 2 versions of a kit. Morph is the same, but on the single instruments basis. Volume controls the volume, and if you press on page, it's the output assignment for all drum sounds, so you could send them to different distortions, effects, delays, whatnot. Panning, I think it's obvious. Setup is for setting up stuff, parameter jump or pickup, MIDI note numbers. There's an interesting one which is all. If you set this to all, it means that this channel will respond to this MIDI number. This is MIDI channel 8, this would be 6, 5, and so forth. Because there are some algorithms you can play tonally. I'm gonna show you that in a second when we explore the bass drum. So in order to select a channel, you press select and 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on for the track number. You change the algorithm with this dial, but we're gonna stick with the bass drum for now. And if you wanna listen to the sound while in that menu, doesn't matter if you're A or B or CV, hitting the fire button triggers the sound once. Starting with page 1 of the bass drum, level, self-explanatory, tuning is the tuning, pitch envelope amounts and decay. Drive, also self-explanatory as well as decay. Now hold is an important one. If this is set to 0, it means that the kick length will be defined by the incoming gate and its length. So I'll use the sequencer to show you this for a second. It's just outside the camera's angle, but I'm recording a sequence with different gate length. This is a neat one to get dynamic sequences and drum sounds going. Tone level is the overall level of the oscillator. Then page 2, click level is, there's a kind of a transient sample which is set here. You can change the tuning of that one and the level. So also the cutoff head has to be, yeah, like this. So for instance, noise, the overall level. This is a clap sample. Yeah. So these are 4 more tone shaping tools to make all sorts of, I don't know, go into 606-ish territory or experimental territory. Resonance and filter type, which is down here. Can also change your drum drastically. Depends where you are. Low pass filter, band pass, high pass, and notch. For instance, notch. One last thing regarding the bass drum. I told you about this neat little feature. If you set this to all, it will respond to MIDI channel 8, which I have set up here on our tone sequencer. And let's get back to the kick drum. Copied it to channel 8, so let's get that more into bassline territory. Let's see. I think you get the idea. You can do quite a few things with that kick drum, and you're not restricted to use kick drum on channel 1. You can have 8 copies of that kick drum and, I don't know, play all of them with MIDI notes. So I guess you could even come up with chords if you have the patience and the time. Let's say we have a bass drum on track 1, a second one, which is kind of a, I don't know, noisy ghost tom thing, and a bass line here. I'll start a simple sequence. You see the triggered drum sounds. Just in case you wonder what I'm doing with my hands, our duophonic sequencer called Tone, which is German for tone, has a built-in distance sensor, and by moving my hands I can change the pitch, defined by a certain scale and octave setting. I think you get the idea. As said, this is not overly musical, but if you spend a few minutes with this works great on trap beats and all sorts of grooves. Let's continue to the next one, which is the snare drum. First page of parameters, the snare drum. Pitch envelope decay, tone decay, and noise decay. These are, in my opinion, the most important ones. So very often referred to snappiness, I guess. Tone decay. Let's keep that up. Tune M and tune 2 is the tuning of the two oscillators, and mix is the balance between them. So you see, you can do quite a lot of things that are not very snare drummy. You also have a pitch attack, a pitch envelope attack, which is also very... We could come up with, I guess, more almost rimshot material. Then you have the occasional drive, bit crusher, a noise attack as well. So I don't know where the click is coming from now, and I don't care, but yeah, you get the idea. So now we have a shaker, noise volume, so clave, kind of clavey rimshot. And just pure noise. So that's the snare drum. Moving on to the hi-hat. This one is a loud one. So level, First, I'll load a new one. Let's see. This one is a good example. So, level tuning, then metal selection is kind of trends and samples. Noise mix is the noise level. And also the balance between the sample and the noise. Attack. Which is super nice to make shakers. Decay. So there is no closed or open hi-hat, no dedicated one. You can load 2 hi-hats and even create a mute group, which is done on the second page with this parameter. But I also use the hold feature for that. So if hold is turned to 0, I'll start a quick sequence. Let's make this one quicker and record in various gate length. If you look at the prototype, it's a high-pass filter, so you can do some pretty cool effect. I think you get the idea. This is quite noisy. FM drum. I'll go through a few saved examples first. So if you're in the instrument select page, so A or B is lit up and you press load, you can browse through a few saved instruments. And so forth. Let's stick with that one. So it can be pretty much everything. Bass tones, tom-ish stuff, snares, hi-hats, blips, percussive bits. You can play it tonally, so you can play it via MIDI. And I'll go through the parameters real quick. Level, carry oscillator tuning, FM amount, decay, modulator tuning, FM amount for the modulation oscillator, and the decay. So you can do an awful lot just with these 6 parameters. Then you have pitch envelope decay and attack. And the amount. Oh, wow. Okay. So sometimes when you get to the extremes, stuff like that happens, but that's fun. And Bit Crusher. There we have the FM drum. T-bridge. I'll start a sequence. So T-bridge was, or is, the famous circuit that can be found in the 808. It's the iconic sound. It's a very simple circuit. It's in its core, it's an oscillator, but in the 808, it's not a free running oscillator. It's an oscillator that is triggered by a very sharp impulse with a resonant decay and an M stage. That in combination, these three things give you the iconic sound. And this here is a virtual analog emulation, and one of my favorite parameters, algorithms in the Fire drum synth. It's perfect for kicks, obviously. If you go up with the tuning, you get into kind of the conga, the typical conga sound. Then you have pitch envelope amount, attack and decay. And overall decay. It's the tone decay. Yeah, you see, you can do a lot more than just 808 kicks. Maybe bass lines. You cannot play this tonally, by the way. Resonance. Click level and tuning and sample selection. That's the T-bridge. I think you get the idea. Rimshot. Well, this doesn't sound like a rimshot, but there we go. Okay. Level. 3 times tuning and 3 times decay. Obviously, you would keep the decays kind of short for a rimshot. Filter, drive, and bit crusher. Let's turn on the drive. There we go. But with the decay turned up, you can do different stuff as well. Clap, volume, time between the ratchets. So you have this very short repetitive envelope at the beginning, and this is kind of the, and this is the number. So with these two, you can already get almost into like organic, real territory. You have the clap, decay, and cutoff, which is the decay of the clap sound, and also the cutoff. Then you have the reverb, decay, level, and cutoff. And clap level, that's the initial clap sound. And the noise tuning, which is also a bit like kind of a sample rate reducer, in my opinion. Yeah, you can get all kinds of claps done with this one. I'll cut through the next one real quick, which is our old clap, the X clap, which is, it's kind of an experimental clap, so you'll hear why. So it's more kind of a noisy snare. It's something that you would probably make in a modular system with a noise source and an envelope, because claps are not that easy to achieve, to be honest, like real claps. Again, reverb, decay, level. You have a resonance, clap number, clap decay, and a cutoff. Clap level. This is also like kind of a crossfader between clap level and the noise level. And drive. I use it mostly for stuff exactly like that, like clicky sounds with a reverb tail. And stuff like that. Or just noise. That's the two claps in the Fire drum synthesizer. Tom tom. Tuning 1, 2, 3. So you see, you can get already pretty pitch envelope amount, attack, and decay. Tone decay, which is like kind of the the low resonance, and overtone decay. Drive. And I think I have a CV modulation somewhere, because there is no changing, so that might be in here. Oh yeah, you can see, if I go to the CV page, you can see that the dot is not in the middle, and there is something coming in, going in. I don't know from where, but this gets very interesting when you modulate all the things. I hardly use it for toms. I mostly use it for exactly this kind of stuff, like almost FM ring mod kind of tones. Yeah. Next up is the universal drum, which is kind of an algorithm that is a mix of a few things. It's also an FM drum. It can be played tonally. You can use the hold feature again, as we have seen on the kick drum and the hi-hat. I'll go through a few presets first. That's way easier because there's a whole lot you could do with it. So and more belly plucky FME stuff. So if you come to the parameter page, no, that's the wrong one. There we go. We have level, tuning of the main oscillator, and tuning of a second oscillator. It's not like carrier modulator, but it sort of is as well. Then you have the pitch, attack, and decay and amount. Yeah, that's the tone cutoff. So basically also noise and more tone. Noise decay. Filter type. The noise resonance, which is kind of, you need the decay for that. The cutoff. And the tone decay. And the tone resonance. Let's go back to the noise. You see, there is an awful lot of possibilities. This is kind of the jack of all trades. You got to be very careful with the parameters because they all kind of influence each other. But I'd say it's cool for kind of snare, clap, percussive, high sounds that need to cut through. And you can play tonally. So also tonally played perky stuff works pretty well with that one. Cowbell, classic 808-ish cowbell, volume control, tuning of the two oscillators, cutoff, decay, then the pitch shifter, kind of, here it's called metal and makes sense why. This is the tuning of the metal. This is very nice. And a frequency shifter. And the second page is empty. So the cowbell is one of my favorites. I don't use it for cowbell. I use it for exactly this kind of stuff with like cymbals with a frequency shift sound in it. So this parameter screams modulate me. Next up is the last algorithm for the moment, which is wavetable. Two pages, level tuning, which is kind of clear, it's the tuning of the main oscillator. Then you have the pitch envelope amount, then you have the wavetable position, That's the position within the wavetable. Then the wavetable amount. The selection of the wavetable. There is 6 in there, with each 64 waveforms. Then you have attack and decay. Page 2 gives you pitch envelope, attack, decay. Filter cutoff, resonance. Let's go back to... So this can get noisy and very chaotic very quickly. Attack and decay. Pitch envelope, cutoff, filter type, filter amount, and LFO rate. This is a very complex one. There's a lot of stuff you can do, a lot of happy accidents and maybe not so happy accidents. Also, you can play this one tonally, so you can definitely come up with melodies if you give it some time. I'll also go through a few of the presets just real quick. And yeah, I think that's the end of this little walkthrough for the parameters of all the algorithms of Fire. I'm gonna record a few of my little loops that I build and change all the time. So they're not perfect arrangements or anything like that. It's more to show some little things. Also, there's, as you can see, a lot of modulation going on. Lots of sample and hold sequences, LFOs, all coming from our sequencer Takt. I'm also using tone to play simple melodic melodies with the distance sensor. The only sound source is the FM Cosmos. It's not about that. That will be featured soon. And if you listen exactly, a lot of like panoramic here's and that's, or changes in tune, changes in filter cutoffs. This is all the internal modulation happening, in that case, analog. I could do quite some of it with MIDI as well, but I prefer it that way. So I'm triggering all the notes with MIDI, but the rest is coming from all over the system. I also use our handy Q slider to morph between kits, or to increase reverb here, or the decay of the snares. So yeah, you'll see. And as said, the transitions won't be smooth. It's just really to give you an idea of how the whole thing sounds together and not just single drums. So yeah, there we go.